didn't. Um, I'm not sure what's going on there, and I'm just checking now the coil for the transformer because they've got thermal overload, they've got short circuit protection, they've got all that built in. If you short it out, it just sits there flashing. It switches itself off basically. So, but after a while, even if I'm running this at a fair amount of power, one of these it got red hot quite quickly and stopped working. So I think I've blown up the channel on that one. But yeah, they cost £2 each, and I've got a whole bag of them. There is a way of bridging these two stereo amps.
Yeah.
You can bridge them in antiphase to make one big one. But I didn't get any plans with it. It's little jumpers on the circuit board, so I haven't had time to play with that. No, what's been happening, Chris, was I went to a music festival with some cover bands, and they were very good. They were playing really unknown numbers from the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
Yeah, it was interesting, but met this bunch of women there. Basically, what happened is last few days I've been ending up as a sort of chaperone for a group of ladies. There's about 6, and it's like a group of rich old widows, you know. Well, I say old, you know, they're not much older than me. But they were basically wanted like a chaperone for when they went out, one of their parties. So they asked me to come along and, you know, drive them home or whatever. And so that's what I've been doing. And I've just spent some time down the road from me, well, down the road, a couple of miles, there's a small beach on the river. The river's called the Lek. It's a part of the Maas. The Maas is part of the Rhine. So the Rhine splits into two. One, you know, the main Rhine goes into Germany, and the other bit goes down south towards Belgium. That's called the Maas, and that goes. It's not far away from me. So they invited me to come down and sit on this beach and drink some beer and chat with them. And
oh, nice.
so that's what I've been doing. Not with any particular goal in mind, but it's just nice to get out and they're all crazy about me, so it's nice to get out and really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them's got a Volkswagen camper, and I might want to help her fix it up. But I mean, none of them work. They don't have to work, Chris. I think they've all had rich husbands or whatever, you know. So, you know, maybe I've got some potential investors in it. I don't know, but it's very interesting. You know, it's just nice to get out and one of them's just bought a house down the road from me, and her sister's coming to stay, and the sister's another crazy woman. So yeah, that's what I was up to. I just needed to have a little rest from the work, and my job's going all well, but I've been given a project which has to be finished at a certain time. End of June, it has to be finished, and there's a way to go yet because no one really knows how to do anything. So I'm playing it by ear as I go along, and I'm wiring up 3 production lines as the way I would do it, you know, because there isn't a planner. There is an engineer, but he's never there. And there is a project guy who comes along, and every couple of days he comes and has a look, and he said, "Yeah, that's about right," and goes off again. I explained to him what I'm doing. I'm putting motors here and I'm putting sensors there to track the boxes as they go down the line. And I'm just making it all up as I go along, which is good, you know. But they want it finished by the end of June. Plus, I've got to put it all in the drawings. Plus, I've got to make a list for the programmer. The programmer has to program the computer to run all these motors. So obviously, he needs to know which number that motor has, you know, which relay switches it off, all that business. So I'm making all the documentations that go along. Plus, I'm putting up the cable gutters, the cable holders. Plus, I'm wiring in all the cables. I've wired over 100 meters of cable last week. But yeah, that does. I got home Friday and I just had pain all over, you know. I had pain in my back. I was very dusty, very tired, so I just bloody slept. And of course, Saturday I went out with these ladies, and today also, just to get out the bloody door. But yeah, who knows? I mean, they obviously they've got some means to them because they just don't do any work. They just go out all day and walk. They go to markets and walk on the beach and all that kind of stuff. So probably good to know, you know. So if sometime we actually need 500,000.
We do need some contributions to boost our income. I got a letter from somebody in America on Fusion Group saying it would be worth an entrepreneur investing £20,000 to.
Right, it's not the Farnsworth people, is it? Because as far as I know, they've got some funding, but they're just doing it more as a hobby. They don't have a real goal apart from look at this lovely lamp we built.
No, it's not.
Steve has asked me to contact them, but I haven't had time, Chris, and don't know if I want to.
Who are they? Farnsworth. That's the Farnsworth Fusion, isn't it?
Yeah. And what they have is but they have a stationary one. What they have is a glass bulb with like a couple of rings of copper in there, single turn jobs, and they ionize it at a high voltage, and I guess they're running current through those rings, and what you end up is a ball of plasma in the middle, and admittedly it gets very bright, and apparently they have had what I've had is like very gradual fusion events going on, you know, like it will slowly change color. That's not good enough. We want the fusion to be out, you know, we need it to go instantly. So that's why I'm working on this high power level. Yeah, only the ionizers fucked me up again. So I'm thinking I want to get a big powerful amplifier to run the ionizer, which is silly because it only needs 25 watts. It doesn't need a lot of power to ionize the tube. Remember, because Steve said, well, he only need voltage, and one of those little oven things will do it. I said it won't, because the voltage is there, but it also needs a fairly amount of current with that voltage. Like I said, I haven't been able to measure the milliamps on the high voltage side. All I can do is measure what goes into the primary, and I know that you need about 18 to 20 watts to light that tube up bright purple, you know, and then
that's quite a small current, high voltage.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not going. I'm still trying to get the right frequency out of it. These, and you're in the 30 kilohertz region, which is not really for an audio amp, but obviously they do it. In fact, if this one's got a high pass filter in there somewhere, I will have to rip it out. I did with the car amplifiers. The car amplifiers had a bypass filter on the output, you know, and a resistor and a capacitor on the speaker output. And on one of them, I actually melted it because all of my high frequencies was going through the filter, and then not. So I took them out, and the amp is now a full range amp, you know, it'll go up to 40 kilohertz easily.
Mm.
But that's the car amplifier that's down there on the floor. I might have to. But what I can't get, Chris, is I've been working with this amplifier here. Again, it's another one of these modules on the table here. It's wired into stuff. It's wired into that, which is from the battery, but that's going to get its own supply. This is like a 50-watt amp module. What I've got down there, you can't see it because that thing is in the way. Down there. This is, I think, a 50-watt amplifier module, and that runs my ionization transformer there. I've got a 2 ohm resistor in between, because if the resistance is too low, then the amp won't switch. It senses a short in the output, and it just won't. It stays off. Remarkable things. I mean, you'd think it's impossible to kill them, but you can. Right, so let me just, I was middle of wiring this up and pulled it. I thought, oh, I'll grab something to eat and I'll call Chris because it's been a few weeks. Yeah, and to be honest, I haven't been doing much at all.
I'd like to contact.
I'm still chasing down 4 batteries that are lost in the post.
Can I talk to the Fusor group that you got on the
internet? Can you send me a link, an email or something? Because
send me an email.
I don't know which group. There's hundreds of these bloody groups. So I don't know which group this one. It's not the Farnsworth one then. Oh, Steve had contact with the Farnsworth group and said, look, we're doing something similar, but it'd be nice to just pull our brains or whatever. And I said, well, I'm not too sure about that because, like I said, they're not their goal is to just to do fusion. Their goal is not energy production or have a working device that you can put on the market. They're more hobbying with it. But then again, they probably know stuff we don't. But then again, I've been with these groups like this, Chris. We've had them on Pegasus, and some of these people, they've got their heads up their own arses, and they won't treat us kindly. I don't think, they're, oh, you're full of shit, and we know what we're doing, and you're doing it all wrong, and because we don't need to hear that. What we want is,
well, the Farnsworth fusion works, but it doesn't produce any energy.
Well, I need to get a recording of it. I need to get a bloody recording of this of it compressing. Which I had last year. I had it last year compressing, and it changed color, Chris. So I haven't been able to get back to that point yet. But I know. Remember, I didn't even have the variac back then. Now I've got the variac. I can put any power. I can run it at any voltage.
Yeah.
Anything above 30 volts is good. In fact, the high voltage the better because you get the current peaks get sharper and sharper with the high voltage.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's a quicker change with voltage over time than it is. Anyway, it kind of works, but the ionizing is now pissing me off. Why did this amplifier burn out for no reason? I've just got my meter. I'm going to measure the circuit, and then we might even power it up. Let's get that lamp out of the way. But yeah, sorry it's a bit later. Have you spoken to Steve? I haven't spoken to Steve all week.
Just this morning. I said, I spoke to him at the 6 o'clock time. Had a chat.
He phoned me twice, but it was at the worst of times because I was just turned up at this concert with this rock and roll band with these 6 old ladies. I couldn't answer the phone, wouldn't have heard anything anyway. But yeah, it was good. It was a good laugh. They're a crazy bunch. It might, you know, like I said, I might be able to get some backing from them. I don't know, but
They might be interested as well as just charity.
well, I know people like this. They, you know, they've got a house in Spain and they travel around and they just do their own thing.
Yeah,
Good luck to them, you know.
Texas.
Um,
I did
and
it for a while.
they seem to like me an awful lot. So um, I was a bit worried, you know. I thought, I hope this isn't some weird sex thing or some weird club that you get where
That
everyone
comes
hates
later.
it. No, this sort of brief, they're okay. They're cultured. And yeah, they invited me to sit on the beach and have a beer, so that's what I did. Uh, yeah, I had to get out of the bloody house now and again, Chris. It was driving me nuts. All I had was work and this. And every time I'm up here trying to do something, something goes wrong. And it was just getting me, it was depressing, you know. So I thought I needed some time off, some me time. Remember, I haven't had a vacation, I haven't had a holiday this year.
I might have a day out.
But I had a week pottering around the house, and I've got another 2 weeks coming up. But nothing.
Or
See, I'm waiting for those batteries to turn up. I need those batteries.
go to Bratislava and
Now
enjoy.
they're lost in the bloody post, aren't they? Useless post service.
What's lost in the post?
Yeah, this one is DHL. DHL are bastards because they don't even wait on the doorstep. They ring the bell and they piss off. And they leave one of these cards behind with a code, you know, and you've got to go online and check the code. And yeah, you got this number. Yeah, your parcel is there and there, and or you get it tomorrow, or you know, this kind of business. But now they've got this automatic safe where they put it in, and they send you a number. You go up to the safe with your number, and you can open the safe, get your parcel out. 2 ohms, 2.6 ohms. Okay, so my iMicing coil is 0.6 ohms. So that's a bit too low for an audio amp. I've got this resistor in. It's like a 10-watt resistor. This should be enough.
That's
Should
true.
be enough. Let's see what this thing does if we wire it up. And I'm going to wire it up to the power supply over there. Yes, I'll give it adjustable voltage as well. I'll go. I think I'm going to go ahead this week, Chris, and wind or finish winding the 10,000 turn coil that goes on the outside.
I see.
Yeah, I've got to do that. It's sitting on the bloody machine. It's just I've got a tiny little stool, one of those like a drummer stool. It's actually for my wife's pedicure thing. And I've got to sit on this little stool and guide the wire over the well, you know,
Yeah.
coil winding. But I've got to get as many turns as I can on there. And it's 0.2 wire, so you need a lot because you need the current. I don't know how many microamps or milliamps it is, but
So
it needs a fair amount of current to ionize it properly. Right, here we go. Because again, I don't want to burn out the tube, but like one tube I had to change, you know, I don't want it turning black. Right, we've got that on there and the scope is connected, and now the output of the amp is on this wire here. Okay. If I do that, that means I can have the amplifier over here, so I can keep an eye on it. Yeah, well, what I did discover was that the power supply was not earthed. Everything was live, so that may have killed the first amp. Now that's connected. It also got a tiny capacitor in between, so there's no DC coupling. All right, let's get that on there. Wire that in. And then I'll need another chocolate box because I want to wire the amplifier in front of me where I can see it. Get a probe on there. Like I said, I haven't spoken to Steve. I think he's still doing his film thing, but I didn't have time. I think this is more important. Right. Let's take that down if we've got tape here. Yep. Get my chocolate box. Turn up the supply. There we go. That's off, that's off, that's on. Switch on the oscillator. And switch on my main power supply. 12.1 volts, that's perfect. All right. Oh yeah, chocolate box, another one. There we go.
So,
Yeah.
what's that? I saw smoke.
Work. I'll put the car amplifier back in. Yeah, it is annoying. It worked for a while, and then this kind, you know, I find it strange because these amplifiers, you can't burn them out. They got temperature control and everything. Just undo the screws. Yeah, this is a ceramic chocolate box, which I use for high voltage stuff, but I'm using it now on the 12-volt ends because I've got nothing else. But yeah, I've got until September, then it's going to get busy at work. So at the moment, I'm just doing my 37-hour week. And then that is one or 2 hours gets put aside, and that's my 13th month. So at Christmas, I get an extra month, which basically I've worked for, so it's not a gift. But you know what they're like. But and I've got to pay tax on it, of course. It's handy to have a month's wages just before Christmas. So there we go. See if we can light this up properly. I've put black cardboard all around the tube because I've got the spectrum analyzer plugged in, and I've got it down to quite sensitive. If you light the tube up, you'll see the peaks coming up on here. But I will when I share screen. Right, first of all, smoke a beer because I'm thirsty.
Smoking, that's why it's smoking.
Oh,
Smoking.
let me see. That's these two wires here and on there. That's giving them 12 volts. Now I need the other audio cable. Where is it? Yeah, well, it's probably the amps one is a kinch plug and the other one is like a headphone plug. Just different plugs on them. That's out the way. Where's that cable? Should be right next to it. Should be here. Or did I curl it up and put it somewhere? Because I probably did. That one there, that's a scope one. No, that's not that. That's not the correct. Hang on. Oh, that's annoying. Isn't that it there? No, that's a scope. Oh, I've lost one of my audio. Oh, hang on. I'll have to go find that, Chris. I don't know what I've done with it. It's a kinch on one end. Where is it? Grey one. I had it last week in the hands. Wait a minute. What's that one there? Yeah, found him. That's because I put it back in its proper place on the cable. I've got a cable rack behind me. basically a metal plate with hundreds of little metal forks in it. So you can get any plug and just hang it in the forks.
That's it.
I've got Kinch RF connectors, USB, they'll hang up there on the wall. That makes it quick to grab them, you know. Yeah.
Tidy.
Actually, I need more of these racks. Steve is building a similar thing. He said, "Oh, I like that." I said, "Yeah, it's functional. You know, you can got your cables hanging up on a rack, and you hang them all plug upwards or whatever in between the forks, and you can see what cable it is." And yeah, I don't coil them up and put them in drawers anymore because you're constantly digging them out again. So I just hang them all up. We do that in a workshop as well. Or at least in most Dutch technical rooms, they have a wall with these fingers on it, these little metal forks. Right, come on. Or they put them on the inside door of a cupboard, which is also the best way to do it, actually, that people don't nick your cables. But this lot, I've got my work cut out because the storage rooms are a mess. It really is. There's stuff laying all over the place. So I had a word with the boss. I said, "This is not acceptable. I want to change this." He said, "Go." He said, "Go ahead." Oh, this cable won't fit. It's too big. Come on. Right, I'm just going to put that in the other thing now. Right, it's in there. Just about. Okay. Right, let's plug that in. That's plugged in. Now, if I give it a signal, you may or may not see it on the scope. Let's have a look. Power up. Oh, the fan's on. And his fan is on. Is it 1 volt on signal? No. I can see that the amp has gone into DC already. So there's something wrong there. Give it 9 volts. No. No, I'm going to have to get the bloody car amplifier down here. Don't know what it is with this one. I don't even see a light on it at the moment. Right, and I don't have my mains. Where's my high voltage tester? Where's my high voltage tester? I think it's at work. Okay. Where's my other high voltage tester? That should be here. Oh. Oh shit, it ain't working either because it's missing a screen. So I forgot about that.
Running out of time now.
We'll have to get a 100-watt amp up here, Chris, the old car one and power it from there, because this one is
We got 10 minutes left.
oh.
Well, 9 minutes actually.
But I've got it capacitively coupled, so that's what I don't understand.
It's what's called random wires, what you're doing. Not random, I know, but it's called random wiring. And it's not really a good way of doing things. Never mind.
I can see it's using 300 milliamps constantly. If I turn the input up, it makes no difference. So it's seeing this as a short, and it shouldn't. Oh, put my finger in the fan. Right, so that's weird. That's very strange. If I disconnect that resistor, what does it do then? Yeah, let's take this side off. Yeah, I'm going to put the car amp back in because it needs car amp is 80 volts output. No, even without. Okay, yeah, no. This amp is toast. It's toast because it's taking current even when the output's disconnected, so it's dead. Quite sure of that.
Oh, that's right.
I've got some more 50-watt amp ones up here on the shelf. These are weird Bluetooth ones.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. No, stop that. I'm gonna have the car amp connected up here. Right, but what the time is now?
You're
Yeah.
going to work tomorrow?
I'll try. Shall we try Wednesday then? I can't make any guarantees, but I'll try and have this on Wednesday with the big amplifier, proper ionization, because the rest is ready. The main power supply and it's running. I've set it at 300 hertz. So I'm leaving it like that until I've got the ionization sorted, Chris.
I see, okay. Well,
Sorry about that. Sorry, I was expecting the damn thing to work, and it's just saying it's just going straight to DC output, and it's drawing 300 milliamps, which it shouldn't. Obviously, it should be drawing 20 milliamps. I could try wiring the other channel, but if that's going to have the same problem, I think it's because the supply wasn't earthed, so it was showing it as live.
it might have been because the
Had
power
an awful lot of ripple on there, yeah.
impedance on the impedance mismatch probably too much current.
Right, so I'm going to dig out that car amplifier, and I'll do that tonight, and tomorrow I'll wire that up. That 400-watt amp, because I've got loads of them laying around, and with them I've already taken the highest pass filters out, so they can handle higher frequencies now, and they're good for 400 watts. I don't need 400 watts, but I need an amplifier that will give a decent voltage. The car amplifiers have a little tiny inverter. They have a DC to DC converter, and they give plus or minus 40 volts to the speakers, which is what a house, a standard large stereo system is also 80 volts. That's how car amps do it. That's how car amps get to that high power. Because if you put 12 volts across a car speaker, well, you can only get so many amps through it. But they pump it up to 80 volts. They've got a little switch mode in there. And then 80 volts into my 2-ohm transformer here will give me, like 20 kilovolts at the other end. So it's more than enough to light up the bloody tube. And then lighting it up is just part of it, because then you've got all the frequencies. I've got all these different bands where I can get it really bright or not so bright, or if you go to a very high frequency, if you got the 40 kilohertz, then you actually get the plasma jump into the middle of the tube, even without the coil. I don't know if that's beneficial, or should we let the coil do it? I don't know.
It could be inducing current in the coil.
I don't know. It's just a very specific frequency. It jumps in. Well, that was like I said, it's pretty high frequency. Every time I'm on this coil above 30 kilohertz, it blows up the bloody transistor. Because there must be something's going out of phase. I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe a resonant frequency of the coil, the resonance of the coil, without the capacitor.
Well, yeah, but the voltage jumps up very quickly, and if you run it at 40 kilohertz, it goes bam, 700 volts. And if you've got a diode in there that can't handle it, then it goes bang. So I'm reluctant to go too far off scale with this. I think 300 hertz. If I can get it all running at 300 hertz, I'll be happy with that, Chris. Or even 2.5 kilohertz. So there's different areas where I can get it to.
It's resonance.
Its standalone resonance frequency I thought it was 40 kilohertz.
Yeah.
So that's what we should be aiming at, right?
Well, we can't use a resonance from the coil itself. When I set it up for you in the lab where you were here, you remember the whistling noise it was making? That was reacting with air.
Yeah, but you had multiple coils, right? You had feedback coils and start coils, and all these different coils, they affect it as well, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're overkill. When I first did, I didn't use all those coils. I just had
I saw that one that you had that the police took. Didn't you wind a a much bigger outer coil as a pickup coil? Household mains wire.
I don't remember what I didn't mind. Yeah, I was going to. I didn't get around to it because
it was quite a distance from the main coil.
That's right. I did try that. It didn't work.
Yeah, I did see the photo. Bloody police! What are they going to do with it? Use it as a paperweight? They
thought it was a bomb. It's ridiculous.
God.
Then they thought I was electrocuting people. Then
so you only need one O level to join the police, Chris.
They're not specialists in coils.
I've got 12, so I'm too good.
One of them thought it was a coil of wire. It was cordite, and it was a bomb. Set up with a dynamite.
Nitrous oxide does smell.
This is just nitrous oxide.
Ozone. Yeah.
Just that whether or not you have it'll do it if you just wire it up. Does it in there just spontaneously without any power. So I think we're on a red herring at the moment. I get the impression that what we're doing here is a red herring.
Right. I'm going to put these two amps in there.
Simplify, make it as simple as possible. Then it can't there's less likely to go wrong. With more components, you have more chance of failure. So you want to have as small components as possible and do it without
But the 70,000 turn is probably the best design.
Yes, well, I don't know. It was too thin. I needed to make it a 2.2 millimeter wire. It would have been better because it was quite wide.
Steve has one of these high turn coils, doesn't he?
Yes, but the thing is, the wire is 0.17, so it's not high and heavy enough for the current. It takes 100 milliamps.
We'll work it out, Chris. I'll try. We'll be here Wednesday. Yes.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Yeah. I'll try. Hopefully I'll have something to show you, mate.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We are pushing forward. Right. Maybe somebody's rich ladies can help us. All right, Chris. Bye. Bye.